Star Trek. The Next Generation Season 1 did a scarier version of Voyager's premise. When Star Trek, Voyager premiered in 1995, its central concept was chilling enough on its own. A Starfleet crew flung 70,000 light-years away to the Delta Quadrant, cut off from the Federation and forced to survive on their own. The premise was isolation writ large, a blend of exploration and survival horror in the vacuum of space. Yet almost a decade earlier, Star Trek, The Next Generation had quietly tested a scarier, more intimate version of this idea in its very first season, and it still stands out as one of the show's most unsettling stories. That story was Where No One Has Gone Before, the 6th episode of TNG's first season. On the surface, it's about a mysterious propulsion experiment gone wrong. But peel back the layers, and what unfolds is arguably more unnerving than Voyager's entire conceit. Instead of being stranded in a distant quadrant of known space, Picard and his crew are accidentally flung beyond the boundaries of the galaxy itself, to a place where the rules of physics, time, and thought no longer apply. Voyager versus TNG Season 1's Cosmic Terror. Voyager's isolation was rooted in logistics. How does a ship survive a 70-year journey home with limited resources, hostile alien species, and the constant reminder that every crew member may die long before Earth is ever seen again? It was a very human story of endurance. TNG's Where No One Has Gone Before, however, skipped over logistics entirely and went straight for existential terror. When the Enterprise jumps to the edge of the universe, its crew is not just far from home. They are in a realm where reality itself bends to their unconscious thoughts. Strange visions, fears, and dreams begin to manifest into physical form. Worf sees his childhood pet standing in a corridor. Wesley's fantasies about his mother appear before him. Picard walks into a room only to encounter his mother, decades deceased, serving him tea. It's not just distance from Earth that makes this terrifying. It's the sense that space has dissolved into something deeply alien, a realm where human identity is porous and fragile. In Voyager, survival is a battle against distance and time. In TNG's early experiment, survival itself is meaningless if reality is no longer trustworthy. The unknown versus the unknowable. What makes this first season TNG story scarier than Voyager's grand premise is the subtle shift from the unknown to the unknowable. Voyager's Delta Quadrant is hostile, but it can be mapped, studied, and slowly conquered. The Caretaker, the Borg, species 8472, all of these dangers can eventually be defined, understood, and fought. Voyager's nightmare is immense, but it's still within the realm of science. By contrast, Where No One Has Gone Before hints at a realm outside human comprehension. The Enterprise is so far from known space that even basic physics no longer apply. There are no alien civilizations to contact, no resources to gather, and no rational means of plotting a course home. They are stranded not just in distance, but in concept. Their thoughts alone might destroy them. That's a premise scarier than anything Voyager faced, because it suggests Starfleet's greatest tools, science, logic, diplomacy, are useless. The very foundation of Star Trek's optimism trembles in that moment. Picard's glimpse into madness. What cements the terror of this scenario is Patrick Stewart's performance as Captain Picard. Unlike Janeway, who steels herself against the Delta Quadrant with pragmatism and resolve, Picard briefly falters in this surreal limbo. His hallucination of his mother is tender, almost comforting, until he realizes that even this gentle illusion is a symptom of his entrapment. The way Stewart lets Picard's calm exterior crack ever so slightly conveys the horror of a man who realizes his command is meaningless in this place. The crew's escape hinges not on technology or tactics, but on the intervention of the Traveler, a mysterious being who reveals that space and time are linked to thought itself. It's the kind of metaphysical explanation that defies Starfleet's rulebook. Picard and his crew are powerless to control it. They must surrender to something they can't comprehend. A sharp contrast to Voyager's long-haul struggle where grit and determination at least feel like viable weapons. A glimpse at what might have been. In many ways, Where No One Has Gone Before feels like a prototype for Voyager's premise, but one filtered through the eerie atmosphere of cosmic horror rather than the steady grind of survival drama. Had TNG leaned more into these kinds of episodes, the series might have evolved into something closer to The Twilight Zone than the procedural, diplomatic exploration show it became. Voyager itself occasionally touched on this style of horror. The thought and scientific method come to mind, but the series largely emphasized adventure and perseverance over dread. That was